Over the last year, the way we work has changed dramatically. Companies and industries are introducing new technologies and different ways of working. This process is often called digitalization. Whilst COVID-19 has sped up this process, many of the concerns have not been addressed. Workers and their trade unions want to see European industry at the forefront of new technology. But digitalization must not deepen the gender, income, and geographic inequalities that already exist around Europe. Instead, digitalization must lead to good quality jobs. Monika Sitarova, International Secretary for the Slovakian Metalworkers Union, OZKOVO, worries that inequalities will grow as the economy digitalizes.
I'm afraid that this green and digital transformation is dividing Europe again in different parts. And it's not only about Central and Eastern Europe, I think also the South European countries like Spain, Italy. In some way, there are not really real investments in digitalization or green technologies are not coming to our country. So in some way, what I will accept from the European Union to coordinate this industrial policy a little bit more, to make very clear coordination on this digital and green transformation.
Tom Frichens from ACVS SMETA in Belgium is also concerned about who will lose out from digitalization.
The most important as trade union is that we leave nobody behind. There will be jobs disappearing. For instance, the unskilled labor jobs will be disappearing. And the question we have to ask as a trade union movement in Belgium, but also in Europe, is what are we going to do for these workers who are not going to keep their job and where it's difficult to keep constantly do this process of upskilling. I think the company there has a responsibility to find a job that can be done by these workers, but also we as a society have to build a safety net so we minimize the dropouts of the digitalization as such.
What we don't want is long hours for some workers whilst others are dumped on the unemployment line. Monika believes that the solution lies in better training.
What we can see right now in Slovakia is that, if even there is a new technology coming to the companies, some of them are investing into reskilling or upskilling of the workers, but only of their own workers. And the school system is in some way still behind. So there's getting a big gap between to market what they want from the workers and with the new technologies and to digitalization. And on the other hand, you have to pupils, to students, and they are getting some kind of education which is not really based on the needs of the multinationals or employees or industry, let's say like this. And this gap is also widening. So I will say, the differences or the non-coordinated industrial European policy, it's not only about wages and about division of the digitalization, but it's also about education and the school systems. And I'm always saying that we are talking about we want to be a part of the digitalization, we want to be a part of the discussions, but we have to be it now, because the digital era or the digital time, it's right now, it's happening.
In Belgium, unions are also pushing for better training.
One of the examples in Belgium to guide the workers within this process of upskilling and reskilling and new competences is that we try to transform our traditional sectoral funds into a career fund. Now we have the traditional sector funds who are funded by employers within the sector of, for instance, the electricians or the mechanics, and where decisions are made in joint consent within the social partners on for instance, training and education. We are trying to transform this traditional sectoral funds into a career fund, where the main objective is to upskill and reskill the workers for the new digital competences who are arising within the Industry 4.0.
As industry changes, so too will the way we work. Whether this is for better or for worse is up to us. Yes, that means training for the skills of the future, but it means getting a quality, well-paid and secure job with those skills. IndustriAll Europe is fighting for fair digitalization. Join us.